A 60-meter yacht, custom built from a pedigree Dutch shipbuilder. What more could you ask for? This is Motor Yacht Entourage. What's up everyone, it's Tony here and welcome to Yacht Addiction. Today is a very special day. This is a 60-meter Amels custom hybrid super yacht which was first delivered in 2023. And this yacht is presented for sale by Moran Yacht and Ship. So a very special thank you to them for granting me access on board. And they were heavily involved with the build process of this yacht. They also managed the yacht, they managed the charter program, and also it's listed for sale with them. And this is hull number 2 in the 60-meter series from Amels, and there were several upgrades that they were able to create with the designer throughout the build process, and I'll point out some of those as we go along the tour. As mentioned, it's 60 meters in length, or just shy of 200 feet. The beam is 10.4 meters, or 34 feet across, and it has a draft of 3.3 meters, or just under 11 feet. This yacht is a staggering 853 gross tons. It's built with a steel hull. And as I mentioned before, this is a hybrid capable super yacht. You can sleep 12 guests and it also houses up to 14 crew members. And in its 2 short years of life, this yacht has already established an extremely successful charter program. So that's another great element of this listing for offsetting costs. And I think we've talked enough for the intro. Let's actually make our way on board this incredible vessel. And before we head on board via the passerelle, you'll see the massive swim platform / beach club area, complete with your umbrella. And then of course, this furniture can be moved to your liking. We're gonna slip our shoes off, of course. And then we'll make our way on board via this extremely wide passerelle, which also gives us another great view down onto the swim platform. You can see down in this section we have a beach club. We'll head in there later on in the tour. But we're gonna start with the aft deck. So as you can see, this is a massive space. We have a lovely seating arrangement. At 200 feet, or technically to be official, 196 feet and 10 inches, you're gonna have a ton of real estate on board. So every single space will be absolutely massive. For example, we look at the side deck here. We have these extremely wide staircases on either side of the beach club, and you'll see how wide that continues as we move forward. Speaking of absolutely massive, I know we're getting a little distracted, but look at the size of these winches and your bollards. These super yachts, especially at this size, are incredible feats of engineering. So let's make our way inside. And of course, all the furnishings and the design was completely customized by the owner's specification. So if we enter through the powered glass doors, we're greeted with the dining table. And one of the first upgrades that they made from hull number 2, you'll notice throughout this level, we have floor-to-ceiling windows. In the original hull number 1, there was a triangle window design, so they were able to upgrade and maximize the window size on this build. And you can see there are some doors, so this can be closed off, but we have storage and a wine fridge and also a small coffee maker, and then your glassware storage built in each corner. So Amels, they are a shipbuilder based in the Netherlands, and the Dutch are known for their high quality pedigree builds. So this one easily fits into that category. We have a top tier design and also top tier craftsmanship with this build. And you'll see here in the main salon, we have the seating and a large TV and sound bar up on the wall. And before we head forward in this area, we're gonna go check out the galley. So that's gonna be located through this door, and this of course is powered. but it's also extremely silent as it opens. And you'll see right away we have a large prep space for the stews. And then continuing through the next door, it's actually amazing here. There's just so much space. Around this corner is where we find the galley. And on a proper super yacht like this is a commercial kitchen setup with all of your stainless steel appliances and countertops. But I like how they still have the extremely large window, so the chef will get lots of natural light in here. And of course, on the other wall, we have plenty of cold storage. And as you can imagine, deeper in the depths of this yacht, there's even more cold storage because this is a long-range capable vessel. And I also like how this hallway is finished rather nicely with all the woodwork. And this staircase is for the crew to get up and down to the bridge deck. And then this door will lead out to the hallway into the main foyer. And before we head back out to the main level, let's take a quick peek at the crew mess. As mentioned, more cold storage here. And then this also will grant us access to the engine room. So we'll check that out later in the tour. Up this hallway is where you find all the crew cabins. Then around this corner, we'll find the crew mess. And this is a fantastic size. When I was talking to Moran Yacht and Ship, they told me that with some of the upgrades they were able to do, they were able to increase the size of the staircase in the main foyer. And when they did that, they were actually able to increase some of the space down here just as a byproduct of that. So it's great to see how they're able to innovate and improve areas all throughout the yacht just by making small changes. And they have a kitchenette area right over here as well. And then if we come back down this hallway, so then right across the hall, we'll take a quick look at this crew cabin. You can see once again, the lovely woodwork in here. And the doors are also very heavy and thick. So I imagine from a soundproofing perspective, that's very helpful. And you can see their ensuite right here. So I believe we have 6 or 7 crew cabins down this hallway, and then the captain's cabin is also located upstairs. You can see the doors on either side. And then also, guys, up this hallway, this is where you find the laundry room. All right. Let's head back to the main salon, and then we'll continue forward on the super yacht. It is crazy how much space we have available for the crew. It's a very comfortable area, and I love all of these wood details. And I think it's really smart to go with a light wood in here. It makes a very bright and spacious feeling. And you'll see this leads us back out to the main salon. Now, we're going to continue forward, and we already got a sneak peek of this main foyer through that door that leads to the crew area, which was right back here. But let's turn around for just a moment. This is your main side access door. And then this is also the day head for this level. And then here is the staircase that they were able to design in the build process. And this, of course, leads up to the bridge deck. And then there's 4 guest cabins down in this area. So we'll see those in just a little bit. First, as you would imagine, your owner's suite is located on the main deck. So we'll go down this hallway, and we're going to take a quick pit stop in this cabin right here. So this could be considered the VIP cabin. We have a large window, and it's also located on the main deck. And you have a desk / dressing table, your TV mounted, and of course, the ensuite. But I also think this cabin would work really well if you want to keep a young child close to you, or if you have a staff member like a bodyguard or an assistant that you can't be too far away from, then maybe this would be a good room for them as well. And that's because this is located just in front, or excuse me, just aft of the owner's suite. So if you need someone to have close proximity to you, this would be a good cabin for that. Because your owner's cabin is just a few steps forward, right over here. And you'll notice the same theme kind of throughout this yacht. We have a lot of pinks and purples combining with these light finishes. You'll have storage in all of these spaces right here, and a massive TV on the wall. I also like the extremely large windows. And maybe you noticed when we first walked in, but if we come around to the other side, we have this lounging space, and then we also have a private balcony that folds out from the wall just off of the owner's suite. And then of course, we're gonna have a very large ensuite to accompany this room, and that's located all the way forward. If we come in here, around this corner, you'll find the toilet. And then this also stretches the full beam of the yacht. And then here we have the double vanity. And if we come down the length of this ensuite, you'll find the large tub, in addition to this extremely large shower with a massive rainfall attachment. And you also get large windows both in the shower and also by the toilet. All right, let's continue on. We still have so much yacht to see on this one. This is such a massive ship. So now we're gonna head down to the 4 additional guest cabins. So if you've been keeping count, we have 6 cabins in total for the guests. And they incorporated some amazing connectivity in this space, which we'll get to in just a moment. First, I love the designs of this room with the accent light that wraps all the way around the bed, built into the headboard, and then also continues to wrap around over to the door. And they currently have the lights off, so you can see what the mood lighting looks like. But let's turn a little bit more of these lights on. There we go. So of course you do have adequate lighting in here, but I do think it's a very nice ambiance when you set it to the evening lights. And then these cabins will be mirrored to each other. So if we skirt across the hall, you'll find the same thing on this side. And we saw it outside a little bit on the decks, but also this hallway is extremely wide, which is always a very luxurious feeling. And I like how we have the wood accents, but we still have the carpet in the center. Here, what you can see, very similar from a design perspective, but we have the 2 single beds. And one thing I like is all 4 of these cabins are basically the same size. They all have the same sized en-suites as well. And you can see in the last one, no single beds in here. And I don't think I was opening up the closets, so let's open them up. You can see it lights up automatically. And then last but not least, the final ensuite. And in the hallway, maybe it piqued your interest if you saw that frosted glass at the end of the hall. That's where we're gonna go to next, and that is the connectivity I was talking about. But before we head through this direction, if you're new to the channel, then let me introduce myself. My name is Tony, and we post a new yacht or super yacht tour every single week. And as I mentioned in the intro, it is an absolute pleasure to be on board. It's not every day you gain access to an incredible super yacht like this. So with that being said, if you're enjoying this tour, a couple things I need you to do. 1, please click the like button on the video. That helps out with the YouTube algorithm. And also, leave a comment down below. I love interacting with you guys there. And then last but not least, hit that subscribe button if you're new. We are slowly creeping our way up to 100,000 subscribers. And I greatly appreciate every single one of you. So with that being said, I won't tease you any longer. If you remember in the beginning of the video, there was that beach club area. So if we push this button, this will grant us access to this incredible beach club. And before we show you all these different rooms, you can see these beautiful steps on the outside. They switched up the wood type for this area. And you'll see we have a bunch of the toys that you find on this yacht. We have sea bob holders, wakeboards, foils. And then also this area will act as your gym. I forget what this is called, but I think this is one of those fitness mirrors where a fitness class will play on the screen and then you do it in the space. And then also on the other side, we have the integrated weight stack. There's also a TV up on the wall. And then in this closet, I believe this is access to some of the mechanical spaces. So we'll take a quick peek into here. Yeah, as you can see, clearly a very health conscious owner because we have the bench. And then it looks like we have the dive center back here. And this is just a great storage space. Of course, on board, you're gonna have every type of water toy available, both for the owners, but then also for your charter program. So let's close this up behind us. And while we're in this space, I'll go back out onto the swim platform, just so you can take it all in. This gets you up close and personal to the water, so this would be a very cool place to hang out. And one thing, I know it's hard to see, or I guess you can't really see it right now, but the staircase that's extremely wide on each side, on the back of this garage, they have teak strips that match the steps of the staircase. And you'll also see that there's a shower built in right up here. So let me climb up this wide staircase and show you what I'm talking about. So when this is closed, we have such a grand appearance from the back of the super yacht. But also, let's head back inside. And then for many, I saved the best for last. And this is one reason it's so great to have the connectivity. We have the sauna/steam room located back here. You have the mood lighting, and it is making the camera go crazy. Let me see if I can find the right frequency. There we go. So on my camera lens, this is appearing very purple, but I promise in person it's actually more pink. You can see there's speakers built in. And also, you have the large shower. This entire room can get wet if you needed to. You have the rainfall shower. So it's fantastic. I love having this located here. And also think about it, when you're done, whether you're in the water, working out, you take a shower or just hang out in the sauna, whatever combination you're doing, after you rinse off, you can just, with a quick push of a button, head right back inside and go change in your guest cabin. So from a charter perspective, I think that's absolutely fantastic. And if you agree, let me know in the comments down below. And if you disagree, also let me know in the comments down below. All right, so we've seen all of the lower deck and we've also seen all of the main deck at this point. So now we're gonna head upstairs and we have more impressive areas to see on board. This is the foyer for the upper landing. We have another day head in the same location as you have downstairs. And then before we check out the immaculate Sky Lounge, it's one of the best I've ever seen, we're gonna head forward and take a look at the bridge. So this, once again, just like downstairs, this is where the crew domain begins again. So guests won't really find themselves here. You can see the captain's office, and then their cabin is right here, although it's locked, so we don't have access to it at the moment. And then if we step up, look at this incredible system. You can map everything out right here, and it's all on this large digital screen. And then continuing forward, we have 5 large multifunction displays. We also have the vertical windows. And there's also small bits of seating on either side of this bridge. You'll see the 2 captain's chairs. And then here's the seating I was talking about. And I like how it's almost level to the captain's chairs, so everyone can be involved if you're sitting here. So whether you're a charter guest and you want to see what it's like to operate this vessel, or if it's just fellow crew members hanging out with the captain, it's nice to have this space. And while we're up here, we're going to take a detour outside. Up on the foredeck on this yacht, because we have all of that space in the beach club for the gym and the sauna, your storage for your tenders are going to be located all the way forward. So right away, you'll find the wing station, and there's a small teak step. So this is where you can stand up and get a good look off the side of the yacht. And also you'll notice that we're cut out a little bit. So if you look straight back, you can look down the line of the super yacht. So it makes it a lot easier for the captain or a crew member to dock this vessel. And as you can imagine, on a yacht of this size, it is a full team effort to dock this vessel, especially in tight spaces. And then you'll see we still have some leisurely spaces up here. This could be used as a sun pad, or it looks like this section isn't fixed to the sofa, so you could extend that out. And then as I mentioned, all of our toy, at least large toy and tender storage is located up here. So we'll see the massive crane mounted in the middle. You have 2 tenders, and you can also see the jet skis tucked away on each side. And then underneath these sections, you have additional storage for the crew. And I really like how this is all centrally located. It's very efficient because you don't have to waste other space in the back of the yacht. You have everything located in one location. All right, let's head back inside. And then we're gonna head back to the Sky Lounge. Here, we'll give you one more look before we proceed with the rest of the tour. And that door we just went through was extremely thick and heavy duty, but the fit is absolutely perfect. Get a very satisfying snap when you close all the doors. And as I talked about earlier, this is one of the best Sky Lounges I've ever stepped foot in. We have this huge L-shaped seating area, the large TV on the wall with the additional seating. And I think, especially in here, the gray color on the carpet and the sofa really matches this medium toned wood on the wall. And we also have, here, you know what, that's in the shade, so it's a little harder to see. but we also have these large windows as well up on this level. You have the accent lights in the ceiling. And just like downstairs in the main salon, you'll find a bar area, or at least a storage area, and these can be closed off with the doors, or you can have them open to present everything that's inside. And then also, before we head outside, one thing that's kind of cool, I think this yacht is extremely impressive when you first walk in on the main level, but during my preview walk, I noticed that on every level that we go up, things just get even more extraordinary. I am blown away by the Sky Lounge, and just wait till you get up on the sun deck. It's another incredible area. So I think you'll feel that as well. As the higher you get, the more extraordinary the yacht becomes, at least in my opinion. And then also, we're not going to fully go through here, but as you can see, you have a wine fridge and another large prep space for the stews, just like you have downstairs. And then back here, there'll be another staircase so the crew can get around behind the scenes. And you have that same light wood in all the crew spaces. All right, now it's time we made our way outside. We have another powered door, and these could open up automatically. There is a sensor in the ceiling. Right now, it's just set to where you have to push it. And stepping outside, here's a slightly smaller table. Currently, it's set for 6. So if you wanted a larger table, you could definitely fit one here. Either way, I really like the display. We have additional storage in places like this. And we also have a large TV that's mounted. And then you're protected by the hardtop in this area. And then we have another large seating area just aft of the table. And this is another place they were able to enhance the space during the design phases with making improvements from hull number 1 to hull number 2. First of all, actually, before I get distracted, you can see the L-shaped seating, and it stretches the entire width of the yacht. So you could have everyone on board socializing here. It's an incredible space. And then very common on all these super yachts, we have the awnings that can be put up overhead. And this was actually, I'm told it was pretty difficult with the shipyard to get this implemented, but the poles for the awning, they're actually mounted into the frame of the yacht and they're angled slightly back. And this gives you the full space of this area to stand up. From what I'm told on the original hull, these poles were actually angled forward, which can be pretty common on some of these yachts. But when they're angled forward, you actually lose out on maybe 2 to 3 feet of being able to stand up here because the poles interfere with your headspace. So that's another little detail. It's something you would never really think of until you're actually on board and you notice how it's an annoyance. So there's a lot of little things like that throughout this yacht that Moran was able to incorporate with the shipyard and the owner to improve upon this whole design. And this one in particular, actually during my preview walk, I bumped into the designer of this yacht, and this is something he was very proud of. I know it sounds like a small detail, but it makes a world of difference if you're hanging out in this space. And now we're going to continue on. I know I've been hyping up the sun deck as well. Deservedly so. We have an extremely wide staircase leading up. And this, I think it's probably the largest sun deck that I've ever stepped foot on any super yacht. And the sun deck is one of my favorite places on board any yacht, and I know that's the case for many of you as well. So to have such a huge space up here, it's absolutely perfect. Back here, once again, a very fitness conscious owner. We have some cardio equipment. And you know, if you didn't want this here, you could move it out of the way. You could put whatever you'd like here. And you have the same design with those awning poles. Once again, they're integrated into the frame, angled slightly back. And this is another place where you used to lose out on maybe 2 to 3 feet of headroom, so you wouldn't even be able to stand back here. So it's another place they were able to integrate that design. It looks like we have the cold plunge over here. And now if we continue forward, I actually want to step back all the way to this railing. You can't even see where the sun deck ends. It's so long. And if we step forward, we'll find another alfresco dining table. And then this is where the hardtop begins, so you're very protected in this area because we also have windows that are built into the frame. And I see a handle here, so I believe these windows can also be opened up and slid across. So if you wanted to open it up completely, you could do so. And we're not going to open everything up on a super yacht like this, but you can imagine, you see the sink. I guarantee we also have refrigerators and ice makers to accompany this space. You're just going to have to trust me on that one. And then we have another extremely long sofa. This would be such a relaxing place with a light cross breeze. You could lay back, relax, and watch a movie. And then if you did want to close this area off even more, there are glass doors that will slide across. And you also might have noticed the staircase, which leads down to the side deck on the port side, so there are multiple ways to get up here. Now continuing forward, we have everyone's favorite. We have a large jacuzzi up here. And we have additional seating on each side of the hot tub, so everyone can still socialize even if you're not in the water. And overhead, you'll see the mast, multiple radar and satellite domes. Of course, we have extremely advanced communication systems on board. It's capable of cruising some very long ranges. And then also back here, before we move forward, because that's right, there's even more to see up here, when these doors are slid out of the way, there's a TV that also faces the hot tub. So you can watch TV from this hot tub space. So some people could chill in the hot tub. You can move these chairs, turn them around to face the TV. You have a lot of flexibility here. And then the last location on the sun deck. It's at the top of this platform. We have 2 umbrellas. And then just like on the swim platform below, we have this freestanding furniture. And I absolutely love this space. As you can see, currently it's very minimalistic, but this is just an incredible platform. You get one of the best vantage points on the yacht. You can see down below onto the foredeck. And also, and guys, look at this vantage point. We are filming this at the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. And I was so excited when I found out that I'd have the opportunity to film this yacht. This is probably the highest vantage point on any super yacht nearby. As you can see, you have yachts and super yachts that stretch as far as the eyes can see, but we're higher than everyone else. And also, let me see if I can find a picture from my camera roll. I'm actually staying in this hotel that's across the street from the show, and I remember while I was doing my notes and all my prep work, I was like, man, I would love to get on board Entourage, and from my hotel room, I'm on one of the higher floors. I could see this yacht standing out so clearly compared to all the other yachts. So if I can find a good picture, I'll put that on the screen, and you'll see it's so large, it just stands out amongst the rest. And this is also the last day I'm filming at the show, so I've been thinking about this the entire week. And then before we head down, my last thought about the sun deck. I really like how we have basically 4 distinct areas. We have this platform for hanging out and beautiful views. You have the hot tub area, another fan favorite. We continue down these long steps. You have this other area, extremely comfortable, very protected, perfect for watching TV or just simply relaxing. And then back here, your alfresco dining space / workout space. So I don't know, you'll have to tell me in the comments, does this count as 2 distinct areas or is this just 1? Either way, whether you count 4 distinct areas or 5, this is an amazing sun deck. I know I'm spending a lot of time up here, but I think it really deserves this extra time. This is such an amazing space. But sadly, we have to move on. So we're gonna head back downstairs. And I think the only place we haven't seen yet is the engines. And we got a little sneak preview before. The engine room is located in the midship. So we're gonna head down there now. I think we'll head back down this other staircase. And once again, it's extremely wide, but you wouldn't expect anything less on a 200-foot Amels. This is back to where we started the tour. Thank you so much. So while we're here, I'll give you one more look at the dining room and the main salon. And then through the main foyer, we will enter the crew domain once again. And then if we head down the staircase and then turn around, first, this is the chief engineer's office. Okay, thank you. So as you can see, guys, we have an extremely complex, extremely large engine room. I'm gonna talk, it's a little loud in here, so I'll talk about the engines in just a moment. Thank you so much. And then also you can see the chief engineer's office right back here. Thank you. And we actually had two members of the engineering team. I think it was the chief engineer and one other member of the team. They're actually doing some work in the engine room, but we were able to get a quick shot. So let me tell you about those engines back out here in the main salon. You're good. And actually, I was lying one more time. There's so many crew members on board and they all have work to do. So we try to be respectful and not get in their way too much. So actually, let's go down back into the beach club and now I'll tell you about the engines. So, you saw both engines on each side. There's also many other systems on board, water makers, generators, everything you could ever imagine. But specifically the engines, they're MTU 12V 2000 M72 engines, rated at 2,937 horsepower each. It's very powerful. You have a top speed of 15.5 knots. You can cruise at 13 knots, and this yacht has a range of 4,500 nautical miles. All right, everyone. I honestly think this is the longest tour we've ever done on the channel, but I wanted to be thorough and I wanted to do it right. Hopefully you all appreciate that. And if you did, one more time I'll say it, leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new. You're clearly enjoying yourself if you made it this far in the video. I appreciate you watching, and also a big shout out to Moran Yacht and Ship. They work with so many clients that build these massive super yachts. They're extremely experienced in the size category, both from a design perspective and also managing these incredible yachts. Thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you next time.